Hello, I'm just doing a video for catch-up purposes. So obviously life has changed because of the coronavirus, and the kids are at home. I have shut the shop for the foreseeable future, as it were, in terms of probably be about, it might be about 3 weeks, mine, or something like that, or more. Back into a situation where I am kind of, I don't know, full-time mum, I suppose, again. I don't know how much I weigh. I think it's going to be somewhere around the 11 stone something mark, 11 stone early pounds, sort of like 11 stone 3-ish, I would think, by now. But I think I've got some good understanding that's happened. So I think what I realise is that food, the types of food that I eat and the choices I make are not really the issue. This is what I guess I was trying to remember what I realised before. What I realised before when I was first losing the weight is that self-care comes first. And when you've got your care set in place, when you take time for yourself, recognise your trigger points, recognise your danger zones, then they're the ones taken to get sorted first. And then after that, then you can choose what food. So I think I realise now that, I mean, I like fruit and veg. I'm not, I'm a vegetarian. There's nothing that I'm not going to be eating. I'm very happy to have like veg and fruit and healthy foods. My problem is, because I'm an emotional eater and I have no willpower, then and even less willpower now than I ever had before. Like zero. It takes like, I get inspiration to eat something and I will eat it straight away. I've got nothing. So I need to find an alternative route, and I think this is what I've figured out. It's recognizing that I still have those issues, that they haven't gone away. It's just that I'd learnt to manage them. I need to constantly be very careful with myself and sort of not be mean and unkind to myself. Not that I am particularly that, but things can slip in, you feel bad for things, or, I mustn't berate myself if I just mismanage something and end up eating something that I would something high sin or something not really very food optimized. I must just move on immediately from that and carry on. And so I think what the plan of action is, keeping away from the kitchen as much as humanly possible. Keeping, in terms of when I'm cooking, I will cook or wash up, etc., but I will not hang around in the kitchen too much, because that's where all the food is. I will so what we're doing at the moment is we go each day to the shop to do the homework of the children, because obviously we have to get all the printer stuff, and there's loads of sellotape there, and pens and pencils and scissors and tons of stuff, because obviously when we were moving, ended up being there, and it's easier to keep everything mostly there because it's, I was in control of the environment, so I could kind of keep it relatively tidy, whereas at home it's just mental. So we have to keep home very, very minimalist, not too much stuff. So, and also it works well because you can kind of walk there, so you're kind of socially distancing, because there's hardly anybody in town anyway. Socially distancing, it gives them it's only 10 minutes walk, gives them an ability to have a walk there. Then we go inside the shop. Obviously the shop's not open, and then we go for about 10 o'clock-ish, 11 o'clock most of the time, and then we come back about 3-4-ish. So they do their homework first, and then we have some lunch, which sometimes they start eating their lunch while they're doing their homework, and then after we think we've probably had enough for one day, then they can watch some telly, and then I can get some stuff done around the shop because there's still stock take and all that kind of stuff to do. So that seems to work quite well. And then it's also our allotted exercise time as well, so that works quite well. Last 3 days I hurt my leg and I pulled my hip flexor, so I'd been in quite a lot of pain for the last 3 days. It's much better now. So that made it harder because it was hard to kind of do anything. I had painkillers for the first 2 days, and it kind of just whacks you out, doesn't it? So I've been trying to keep my fluids up, because sometimes a high level of painkillers can kind of affect your system a bit, for me personally. So yeah, my plan of action is to keep my fluids up, making sure I'm having plenty to eat, plenty to drink. I am trying to make sure I have like a hearty breakfast before we go, and trying to make sure I take some lunch with me, so we have something when we get there. And then when I get back, trying to just take me away, make them there. Well, normally when we get back is about 3, 4ish, so they don't really need tea straight away. So I take myself away from the kitchen until about 5, and then I make them some dinner, and then I come away again, so I'm not just kind of hanging around in the kitchen, because that just leads to eating. But one thing I've discovered for the lunch thing is that, because if I have to spend too much time preparing stuff, I just can't be bothered. So what I'd figured out was the frozen Oriental stir fry mix from Lidl's, because I'd had a couple of packs of that in the freezer. That's about 5 cents for half of the pack, and I'd been just putting some first time round, I put some of that just frozen in a Tupperware container and just topped it with couscous, not cooked, just dry, so that when I got there it had slightly melted it. But also you can put water in the Tupperware container and then just put it in the microwave, because I've got a microwave at work, for kind of 5 minutes or so, and that defrosts the stir fry veg, but also then that kind of the stuff that's coated on the stir fry veg, which makes it singed, then just goes into the couscous. So, and then I've got some soy sauce that I keep at work. So that's been a really useful thing. And also the benefit of that stir fry is it's got speed veg in it. I know it's coated with stuff, so it makes it singed, but it makes it food optimizing, because it's got like bean sprouts and like leeks and stuff like that. So it's just really suitable. But I realised last time, yesterday, the best thing to do is to put the dried couscous in first, and then top it with the frozen veg after, because then the couscous isn't going to get dry on the top. So when you put the water in, then it just soaks into the in the couscous itself, and then that worked really well. So I'll put that together, and that takes, I would say, maximum of 3 minutes to prepare, and I don't have to do it the night before or anything. That's just like, okay, let's go. I've been making the kids their lunches to take with us, so that they have to try and make them have some breakfast before we go. My daughter doesn't really like to have breakfast; she likes to eat lunch later. So I make her 2 sandwiches, and I put them in a lunch pack each. So that works well, because that's their food, and I take my food. I've been having those like French fries, but Lidl's own brand, and they're quite good because they're just 3 sins each, and they're quite crunchy and salty. So you don't really want to have more than like 1 pack. It's not, not too bad, especially if then I'm eating the stir fry stuff as well. So I'm struggling very much so. I'm not at all working to plan in any way, shape or form. However, I realise that that was always my problem. That was always the thing I struggled with. So that it's not a problem. It's just going back to the work I did onto, supporting myself, self-care. Do not berate myself when things go awry, because I am extremely susceptible to it. It's just one of them things, and the switch happens in your head. Nothing you can do about it. I cannot just say no, because then it's just cascade. So I have to just go, right, it's fine, just ignore that and just keep myself away and just do each meal at a time. Just keep making choices, keep constantly going, okay, we'll choose this, choose this, choose this next time, okay, choose this. This is, it's just one of them things we've got constant work in progress. But I think I've cracked it now. I think I understand that it is not the food, and I must not focus on the food. Almost like the food side of things has to be the last choice. All of the other choices coming up to eating have to be like, am I relaxed? Am I well? Am I healthy? Have I got my, confidence up? Am I feeling secure and happy? And like, there's tons of stuff ahead of the food choices. And if I can get myself in a good place in my head first before I go to eat something, then I can make better choices. So it's like the other way around. So yeah, I think it's obviously Slim and Well groups have stopped. But with the kids and stuff anyway, it was going to be a bit trickier. And I think my group was going to do a Zoom call. I didn't really know how it's going to work, in terms of it's a bit of a challenge with those situations, and I just thought, I don't know what to do. And that's one of the things I have to keep choosing to say, okay, well, what's working for me right now, just keep getting through each day, and keep making sensible choices. I feel a bit like probably should have chosen to go onto the Zoom call to do those things, but I don't know. It felt like it wasn't really going to be quite what I was after, the support side of things. Not really sure. But I'm sure they'll do it again, so I can always make the choice again at a later date. So I think that's where I'm at the moment. I feel sort of like I've kind of made a not a breakthrough as such, but I think I've been a bit more aware of what's going on in my head. I don't think it's going to be easy, and I think I will probably make a lot of mistakes all the time and constantly have to keep just doing the next thing. But I think that's what maintenance is, and that's what keeping the weight off is. It's just a constant readjustment of the mind. And I think any of us who piled weight on and are trying to keep the weight off have issues around food. It's just one of them things, isn't it? So we just have to keep kind of keep looking at ourselves and seeing how we can help ourselves. I think that seems the best course of action, and keep the self-care aspect high, keep selfish, and keep a bigger sense of what health means, in terms of, it's not selfish to look after yourself. It's not selfish to because I said, keep selfish, but it's not selfish, is it really? It's not selfish to look after yourself and keep yourself well and healthy, and it's actually a really quite high priority for anybody to do. So it's just like one of them things you have to choose health because there's no other alternative. Is to have to keep ourselves well and healthy, and one of the ways to do it is to keep the weight off. Okay, I'll pause there, and I will upload, and take care everybody, and I hope everyone's well and healthy, and that everyone's doing okay with all other crazy circumstances. Lots of love to everybody. Bye.